A palpable anger emerged among many Kenyans over a controversial finance bill that introduced several unpopular tax proposals, arguing that it will impose undue financial burdens on citizens already grappling with economic hardships. Despite the numerous complaints, the Finance Bill 2024 sailed through in Parliament. The public outcry forced the government to withdraw some contentious provisions, including a 16% tax on bread and an annual 2.5% tax on vehicles, a step that protesters claimed was not enough and demanded the legislatures reject the entire bill.
We are fixing this country for one time. Ruto must go! Ruto must go!
On Tuesday, thousands of protesters, mostly the youth-dubbed Gen Zs, took to the streets demanding a complete withdrawal of the bill. The MPs, a majority of them from the ruling party, voted yes in the third reading, awaiting the president to sign or decline. It was at that moment that the protesters got annoyed to the extent of storming the parliament, forcing the MPs to run for their lives as they vandalized the parliament's properties and even set ablaze a section of it. The tension moment saw protesters invade the highly guarded parliament buildings. Several lives were tragically lost and others got life-threatening injuries, including journalists. This is after parliament security officers, backed by anti-riot police, brutally engaged the protesters. The security officers' actions were highly condemned by rights bodies such as the Law Society of Kenya, the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, the Media Council of Kenya, the Foreign Press Association, Amnesty International, and Western diplomats.
We call upon the international community to conduct independent investigations on the massacre meted on the residents of Githurai area, Nairobi, in the night of 25th June 2024. I dare ask, is Githurai a protected area? Is Githurai an area that members of the public should not stay, should not live? Why was there a massacre where people are living peacefully? We demand answers to those questions, and that's why we are demanding the international community to have independent investigations done. Yesterday, the internet was down, people could not communicate, but from social media, people have been saying that about over 100 people were killed yesterday. And so we cannot allow those lives to go uncounted, that the people who have caused those deaths to be held accountable.
So you can see, you can begin to imagine the trauma, the suffering by the Kenyan people and this nation. As we speak, we have a nation that is deeply troubled, deeply insecure. I don't think there's any Kenyan who is feeling happy today. I don't even think William Ruto himself is feeling happy because of the shocked he was. Because as a parent, how does he wake up every morning and imagine what happened? And yet, not a word since the happenings on Tuesday from the so-called government spokesperson, not a word from Inspector General of Kenya Police, or the commandant here, the infamous Bungei. I'm speaking after the president of the Law Society, Faith Odhiambo, and I don't know what she told you. But in my view, as senior counsel, we're going to document every case, perhaps even revisit the International Criminal Court and this time talk to them about the atrocities committed against the Kenyan people by a regime which is heartless, which calls his own citizens traitors, they're committing treasonous acts. And we are yet to be told who are the financiers of this very organic youth movement, organic in their thousands, and they just want to claim their country back.
Leaders, including former President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition chief Raila Odinga, condemned the killings of anti-finance bill demonstrators. The two, including the United Nations, called on the government to engage the youth in dialogue. President William Ruto was forced to concede and didn't sign the bill into law, but returned it to Parliament for amendments.
It has become evident that members of the public still insist on the need for us to make more concessions. And because I run a government, but I also lead people, and the people have spoken, I am grateful to all the members of the National Assembly who voted yesterday affirmatively for the Finance Bill 2024 as amended on the floor of the House to incorporate the views generated through public participation. And following the passage of the bill, the country witnessed widespread expression of dissatisfaction with the bill as passed, regrettably resulting in the loss of life, destruction of property, and desecration of constitutional institutions. On my own behalf, and on behalf of these members and many other Kenyans, I send my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate manner. Consequently, having reflected on the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
But in a twist of events, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Wednesday alleged that the National Intelligence Service (NIS) is to blame for the deadly protests witnessed in Kenya. Gachagua claimed that NIS failed to advise President William Ruto about the public outcry about the finance bill. He called for the immediate resignation of NIS Director General Nordin Haji.
I know President William Ruto. Had he known 2 months ago that the people of Kenya did not want anything to do with the Finance Bill 2024, he would not have asked his parliamentary party to push it through. Yet, we have an organization paid by the public to give him and government such information. And that is where the problem is. We have a dysfunctional National Intelligence Service that has exposed the president, the government, and the people of Kenya. Had the National Intelligence Service briefed the president 2 months ago about how the people of Kenya feel about the Finance Bill 2024, so many Kenyans would not have died. Property would not have been destroyed. Offices would not have been touched. There would have been no mayhem. But they slept on the job.
But protesters have vowed to continue with protests next week on Tuesday. Reporting for Mwanzo TV, I'm Kasi Mwanjiro.